MESA service to the Boulder County community, special recognition needs to be given to someone whose leadership and vision has driven the mission forward for almost half of MESA's existence. Through national and local impacts on survivors, national disasters, the COVID pandemic, MESA's director has led MESA for 23 years with a steady hand and an unparalleled passion for ending sexual violence for good. A nationally recognized psychologist and expert on sexual violence, she has been asked to speak in front of universities, law enforcement personnel, leaders in the justice system, and more, all the way up to the United States Capitol. Her conviction and compassion has changed Boulder County and this nation for the better. Here to share with you the vision of MESA's future, please welcome MESA's current director, Dr. Janine.
That's my team barking in the front there. It's not even final. Thank you so much for being here. This is, I feel emotional. 50 years is such an incredible milestone to celebrate. So thanks for showing up and showing out tonight and being here. So 23 years, it has truly been my honor and privilege. This is passion work for me, and I feel so honored to come in this line of so many matriarchs and visionaries and experts and volunteers, right? Yes. And sometimes it feels like yesterday that I just started, right? Until one of my staff, Lindsay Breslin, pulls out of the storage closet the other day and comes marching into my office to show me this. Is it PowerPoint on? I know. How about that for suspense? Thank you. Okay, so where did I leave that setup? So Lindsay Breslin, I think that 23 years has just, been like yesterday, and then Lindsay brings this into my office. So this was a picture taken by the Boulder Daily Camera in my first year as director, and then I look at this, and then I look at the shades of gray my hair has now turned, and I'm like, yep, that was 23 years ago, let me tell you, let's be clear, right? But anyway, we're rocking it, proud of the gray. Okay. So tonight I'm going to share my vision, right, of what I see is the next steps, the future of MESA. But first I want to start with where we are today. Like Ann said, we get some interesting questions in this line of work, and a very common question that we get is there really a need for this work? You're the director of the Sexual Violence Resource Center. Is there really sexual violence in Boulder County? It's said we're liberal, progressive, whatever. And besides, we had the Me Too movement. We don't really need any more than that, do we? And I have this internal eye roll that happens a bit, and I said, oh yes, there's a need, and let me tell you about it. So I'm going to take you behind the curtain a bit into just a typical week with our client services program at MESA. I'm going to talk about Gabe, and I'm going to talk about Lindsay for a minute and what they do. So just a few weeks ago, Gabe, who supervises our hotline and all of our volunteers, was prepping that and getting ready to do that training, right? And right in the middle of that. And they get a call to respond to a survivor who was just dropped off at our office in Lafayette, who turns out was a victim of human sex trafficking. And Gabe dropped what they were doing, went to the victim, and spent that day helping that person navigate a complicated legal system, medical system, right? And that's a day in the life, right on, that's the game. And then I want to tell you just about a typical day in the week of Lindsay, right? After a more than packed day, Lindsay, would head home to her townhome in Denver and probably just sit down and for dinner when the hotline called her and said, there's a survivor at Long Peaks Hospital in Longmont, right? So Lindsay turns around from Denver, drives to Longmont, where she proceeds to sit for 4 hours, right, through the wee hours of the morning, with the survivor as the survivor waits to get a forensic evidence exam. And Lindsay sits there, sometimes talking to the survivor, sometimes not, right? But Lindsay knows that there's something about her calm, confident advocacy presence that makes a difference. Yeah. And ultimately, our work, we don't find it hard. Are there hard days? Yes. Our work is hopeful. And that's where we are. It's hope. So we do this because of that hope. So thank you to Lindsay. So here's the thing. MESA's roots, going all the way back to 1972, our roots are in service to survivors of sexual violence so that no person, no family, no friend of a survivor has to go through that trauma alone. Right? This critical work will continue with fervor, with commitment. And we need to ask ourselves, why are there so many survivors of sexual violence that we have to keep serving, right?